So at Narrative, one thing we say that we want to do is be about multiplication. Now think about when you were a kid, when you learned your addition and then you moved on to multiplication tables. The world changed so immensely. Addition's not a bad thing, right? 3 plus 3 equals 6, 5 plus 5 equals 10, 100 plus 100, 200, right? That's great. We add more. But remember multiplication and you go, oh wow, but I can do that via multiplying. I can make more. I remember the first time I started learning about compound interest and how multiplication factored into that. So when we say a core value is multiplication, what that reminds us is that we want to be kingdom focused, right? Addition would be solely about saying, let's grow Narrative Church to the ultimate size it can be. We're all about Narrative Church. But when we say multiplication, it reminds us to be about the kingdom. We want to see Narrative Church grow. We want to see more people connected to Jesus through our church. But multiplication reminds us it's about the kingdom. And the kingdom can multiply if we focus on that as opposed to just ourselves. If we focus on planting more churches, which is something we want to do as we're connected with the Harvest Partnership and with International Cooperating Ministries, planting and building churches in Ethiopia. It's about looking and saying, my discussion about faith and about life with my coworker and my neighbor is beneficial even if they don't show up at my church. We want to give you tons of opportunities to invite your friends and neighbors to our church. But we also want to give the opportunity to say, don't slow down there. Multiplication keeps us from staring at our own selves and saying, oh, it's all about Narrative, and instead saying, hey, Narrative is the piece of a greater story. It's a piece of the kingdom of God. And so for us, multiplication is about saying we want to be about the kingdom. So as a value for Narrative, that means we want to be evangelistic. We want to share the good news of Jesus with people around us who are disconnected, who either are far from the church, the Big C church, the kingdom of God, or from the faith altogether. They don't know Jesus. It's about planting more churches. What we found is that different churches reach different people. And so we want to plant more churches. That's why we're connected with our church body as they plant churches here at the Texas District of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod, but also the Harvest Partnership, a group of sending churches and planted churches, encouraging each other towards building more gospel outposts. And then finally, it's about looking outside of our borders. That's why we've connected with ICM, International Cooperating Ministries. We partnered with another church, Christ the King Lutheran in Kingwood, Texas, and we're helping to build churches in Ethiopia. So for us, multiplication says, let's not just think about Narrative. Let's look at the bigger picture, that the addition at Narrative should mean we move towards multiplication of the kingdom of God together.